It hasn't been long since Hurricane Harvey slammed into Texas, and there's still a lot of people that are cleaning up, rebuilding from that area. It's going to take years and years and billions of dollars to rebuild after Harvey. And now we have another hurricane that is poised to possibly hit Florida. Now, this is a Hurricane Irma. Now, to some extent, we're in hurricane season, so this is normal, right? We do expect storms. And look, Floridians, they ride out these kind of storms all the time. However, Irma is now incredibly powerful. In fact, it's a category 5, okay? And is now actually considered the second strongest storm ever witnessed in the Atlantic. So that's pretty serious, right? Now, forecasters I guess they disagree on whether or not it will definitely hit the United States. But a lot of people, they're rightly concerned. Since, look, category 5s are the strongest storm, they're potentially catastrophic for anybody who's caught in the way. So this is very, very serious. Now, with that in mind, here comes Rush Limbaugh, right? Now he's telling people, oh, don't be so worried about the storm. In fact, you should be less worried about the storm and more worried about big business trying to scare you into buying stuff. This is interesting. Now, in his show, he said, here comes a hurricane. Local media goes on the air. Big hurricane coming. Oh my God, make sure you got batteries. Make sure you got water. It could be the worst ever. Have you seen the size of this baby? It's already Cat 5. Oh my God, it's bigger than the island of Haiti. Oh my God, people run to the stores. They stock up everything. And they hoard and they end up with vacant stores. Nothing there. And it's a big success. How's that a success? TV stations got eyeballs. The advertising businesses have sold out of business. Got a restock and the cycle repeats. Oh, so that's it, huh? So this is just all the fault, all the hype about Hurricane Irma after Texas just got slammed is all to try and sell stuff. It's a ploy to sell batteries and water and gas. That's Rush Limbaugh. Okay. Now there's more, but look. The weather reports right now, again, they're tentatively talking about landfall. They're being very careful not to scare people, okay? And they acknowledge that responsibility that, yes, it does have a certain amount of chance, a certain percentage chance of hitting landfall. So, yes, it does not hurt to be prepared. Now, that's not ridiculous. That's being responsible. However, I would say that the ridiculous one here is Rush Limbaugh. Trying to make light of this and basically saying, oh, it's just you know, a ploy, right? To get advertising dollars. And this is ironic. It's super projection. But and battery makers and people who sell bottled water just to make tons of money off gullible people who are afraid. Again, projection, right? Look, I got news for you. The weathermen are not working with the battery and water cabal to sell more stuff off fear storms. Okay, again, that's not what's happening. Projection, right? Look, the funny thing is that he belongs to a party filled with people who are prepping for the literal apocalypse. Look, you got Jim Baker, for example, right? Jim Baker ain't nobody's liberal, okay? He sells emergency food buckets for the apocalypse. Again, projection, right? But it gets worse than this, right? Much worse. As now he's going to bring in climate change. You'll love this. He says, people in all of these government areas are all hell-bent on proving climate change. No, actually we're not. We're not trying to prove climate change. It's already been proven. Okay. What we're trying to do is we're trying to mitigate that so that climate change doesn't actually get worse. Not that he would understand. And he decides to get into even more projection. He said, you can accomplish a lot just by creating fear and panic. You don't need a hurricane to hit anywhere. All you need is to create the fear and panic accompanied by talk that climate change is causing hurricanes to become more frequent and bigger and more dangerous. And you create the panic, and it's mission accomplished. Agenda advanced. Really, what agenda? To make sure that hurricanes don't become more frequent and more dangerous? Guilty as charged. You caught us. How dare we try to save more lives? How dare we try to protect the environment? Such a crime, all right? No, here's the projection, right? Look, Limbaugh, to Limbaugh and many on the right, the Democrats, they can't be right about anything. They have to be wrong about everything. You know why? It's because that's their core identity. They stand opposite to everything that the Democrats do, right? And not only that, but as I said before, they're afraid of what climate change means, not only when it comes to weather events such as hurricanes and storms and floods, but also the effect on their way of living. There are a lot of people that are very set in their ways and they're afraid to change. So what they do is, in order to avoid having to change their lives, they invent this massive conspiracy, or they buy into this massive conspiracy that involves 97 to 98% of the world's climate scientists who agree that climate change is happening. But see, they think that those scientists are being paid off by Al Gore and Big Solar in order to tax them more. See, that's what they believe. Now, here's the funny thing about that, right? Well, look, we could pitch a tax on rich people a lot easier than this, than having to invent this whole gigantic conspiracy. Which, look, the bigger the conspiracy, the less likely it is to actually be true. So a lot of those tend to fall apart. But the thing is, on taxes, right? Again, I see this all the time. Al Gore, he just wants to tax you, right? Majority of people already think that the rich don't pay enough in taxes. If we wanted to raise taxes on the rich, and we had a government that actually responded to us, to the needs of the people, to the desires of the populace, then we would have raised taxes on the rich without having to create, as I said, this gigantic conspiracy. Now, again, that whole argument falls on its face. Now, one more from Limbaugh, and I want you to try not to laugh at the irony of this statement. He says, quote, "And after this entire screed, I wish that not everything that involved news had become corrupted and politicized. But it just has." So, massive projection here as well. Look, let me ask you, who politicized climate change again? Oh, right. It was the right wing. Look, all the Democrats said, all Al Gore said is that, hey, man, this is happening. Maybe we should actually fucking do something about it. And the right wing, led by politicians and funded by oil companies and fossil fuels, you know what they said in response? Piss off. We're not going to do anything to threaten the profits of our donors. Okay? You know why? Because if we threaten our donors, well, they're going to take their campaign donations away, and I'm not going to get paid. I'm not going to get reelected. So, look, we don't want it to be a political issue. I don't want to see it as a political issue. This isn't right and left, okay? And look, if there's any Republicans out there that accept the science and want to have a conversation about actual solutions, wonderful. I welcome them into the fold, right? And I'm serious about that. But here's what you have is you have political hacks like Rush Limbaugh that have made it very, very difficult for sensible Republicans to actually come forward and help us do something on the issue. And unfortunately, until those people get their courage, these politicians that they represent get the courage to buck their donors and the rabid members of the base that get whipped up by these pundits, unless that stops, it's not going to get any better. In fact, it's going to get worse. The storms are going to get stronger. The hurricane season will end up lasting longer, and regular people will will end up suffering more under something that we could have gotten together and actually worked to prevent. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.